Hi everybody, it's Debbie. I am back for my fourth installment of my Fauxbonichi flip. And first I wanted to thank everybody who has been watching and commenting on my videos, everyone who has subscribed. I don't know if there's a way to acknowledge subscribers. You can reply to comments, but I'm not sure how you thank people who subscribe. So if anybody knows if there's a way to do that on YouTube, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to thank you all for subscribing. And I'm going to get started here. I did want to show you before I start inside. I did finish the outside of my journal. I added this template I pulled off of Pinterest of a, I don't know what you call it, emblem. And I had some transparent letters, stickers, and so I used those on here. I don't even know where I got those. I think I got those in a big box of craft stuff, but I would love to find some more of those. I really like the way they look. And I'll put a little bit of blue Distress ink, Tim Holtz, around the edges. So I like the way that looks. I'd really like to finish the top of this, maybe with some, I'm not sure, Mod Podge or something. If anybody has any suggestions on that, I would appreciate that. I don't want to warp my book, so I'm really not sure what I can put over that to help protect it. But in any case, I'm satisfied with it for now. We'll see what happens. So when we left off last time, I was getting ready for my mother's 75th birthday party. Her birthday is on October 3rd. So this was the birthday party. These are some of the posters I made for her party. The one in the center was the one I had gotten from this Pinterest inspiration board about 75 years ago. It listed prices of everything in the, like a loaf of bread was whatever, 8 cents, a gallon of gas was 10 cents. But instead of doing that, I just took events in October throughout history just to commemorate the month of my mother's birth. So that there was a bunch of different things listed here for October. And then on these two posters, I just put old pictures of her as she was growing up and met my dad, and then pictures of her being a mom. And she really loved this. I saw she was pointing out to several guests at the party, people in the pictures, and just talking about, how much she liked it. And at the end of the party, she asked me if she could take those home. And I'm like, well, of course, I made them for you. So I'm glad that she really enjoyed that. This is obviously my mother. She does not take great pictures, so I think she kind of was hiding herself behind her gift here. This is actually not a bad picture of her, but it's kind of a running family joke about how badly her pictures look. The camera does not love her. And so there's just a lot of journaling under the tip ends about how the day went and what we did, and etc. And I used this little cupcake stamp, which I think was the first and only time I ever used it. I'm not quite sure why they make stamps where everything is upside down and sideways, but I did see somewhere on Pinterest, I guess, where someone had cut theirs apart and actually used them individually. And I may try that. I would love to use them like maybe as a border along the bottom of a page. So I'm going to try that at some point. On this page, I made this from Pinterest inspiration. So it's an acrostic. These are those letters that I had shown in the last video, if you happen to see that. These letters right here. I just used a black marker and colored them all in so the word mother would stand out, and then used cutouts from magazines for the rest of the letters. And I thought that turned out really nicely. I always meant to do another one and frame it for my mom, but I never did that. Maybe I'll just take a picture of this one and frame it for her. And this flower I created from a piece of Happy Mail, which I believe was my very first piece of Happy Mail from someone in the group, from Elizabeth Wallace. The envelope was made out of this paper right here that I cut the petals out of. It's kind of a plasticky, I don't know if she made the envelope out of scrapbook paper or if she purchased the envelope, but I just love the feel of it. And so I cut that out to make petals. And this little art circle, which was instructed by Cat Hand, and Elizabeth is the one that turned me on to this Cat Hand video because I loved this. She used this as a seal, and I pried it off of the envelope and used it for the center of my flower. And I love these art circles, and I will link it below where the cat hand video is, assuming I can find it. And then I just drew the rest of this as a flower. But anyway, I just love the way this turned out. And thank you so much, Elizabeth, for sending me that piece of happy mail. Then here I'm talking about spending the day with my grandsons while Rachel was painting the new house. And my son Clinton was at Army drill duty. And the kids and I did art in the morning, and then it was raining again that day. I think it was like the second week or so that it had been raining. And then we ran errands in the afternoon, and then we did some crafts. We made some monsters out of toilet paper rolls. I wish I'd taken a picture of that and added it. This is some stuff about work, nothing exciting. And then I got another piece of happy mail. This one was from Gail, another member of our group. She sent this cute little notepad. I actually just cut the bottom of it off here with these little owls, and I just wrote in, this first owl says trick or treat, and the middle owl says, what? It's not today? And the last owl says, but can we still have some candy? So I thought that was cute. And Gail sent me this little quote, poem, whatever, and this little mushroom. I love this little mushroom too, and these little flower petals. So thank you, Gail, if you happen to be watching. I appreciate that. Then I kind of started in my Halloween theme. I got this stamp at Michael's. I had just gotten it. It was on sale for like 70% off or something. It was cute, cute, cute. And I used it several times in this October. And I colored it with some like some gel pens. And mostly this is all about, a lot of it was about the weather. It had finally stopped raining after, I don't know, like 2 weeks or a week and a half. And so I talked a lot about how nice the weather was and how beautiful it was. It was really, I remember, a really gorgeous couple of days. And then here's just some journaling about the day, mostly about work stuff, nothing exciting. Then here's another 5 on Friday. The prompts for this were Audible paper, which was this acorn paper I used. Something brown, which actually there's several things on here that were brown, but I specifically pointed out this TV. I love this little retro TV. And it said new season, new stories, and I listed out all the shows I was watching, which was a whole lot at the time. I no longer have cable, so I don't watch as many regular shows. I watch a lot of Netflix. And then Leaves was this magazine photo. Mix and match lettering, which I did up here for the date. I love the way that turned out. And I love the mix and match lettering because you get to use up, you know, I'm sure everybody knows you use up a lot of your vowels first, then you don't have enough of any one particular letter to make the whole word. And so it turned out really nicely, and I got to use up a lot of letters with that. And then it says something that reminds me of autumn, which was this porch scene. And all of these actually have flips where I wrote some more journals about my day. This was a lister's got a list. It says what you're currently doing. And I had reading, Pinterest journaling, how to, watching HGTV tiny houses. I love those tiny houses. I really want one of those. And listening to my grandkids playing. So that was that Friday. This another weekend where I had the boys all weekend. We went into the little downtown area. It's kind of like a little country looking downtown. And all the shops down there had made scarecrow displays. It was a contest and you were supposed to go, and of course they were advertising their particular stores, but you were supposed to look at each one and then vote for the one you liked the most, and I guess they got some kind of prize. But the boys just loved them. We had driven through the town the weekend before and it had been raining and they wanted to go and see it. So we walked around and looked at the little displays and took a couple of pictures of them. And then this is just what we did that day, a bunch of errands. And then the next day we went to a pumpkin patch down the street. It was actually like in a churchyard. But they had pumpkins, and then they also had this big scarecrow that the boys stuck their faces in. And I don't know if you can tell, but in the back there was a big bouncy house. And we did that. Jackson really was not a big bouncy house fan at the time. It took much, much coaxing to get him in there. But once we got him in there, he had a really, really good time. And the rest of this, and here's the journaling about that. The rest of this is titles of food that I cut out of the Trader Joe's flyer. So pretty much everything in there I think is something I would eat. I didn't cut out anything I didn't like, but it all has pumpkin in it. In the background I used colored pencils, and I kind of blended the colors, or tried to blend the colors, while still keeping them a little separate and making little stripes. And I like the way that turned out. Here I'm journaling about the kids. Were finally moving out. They still had a few things at the house and they were coming back but they had all spent the night before, that Sunday night, in their house for the first time, all 4 of them. So I was just journaling about how I had been tired Sunday night when they left, but that Monday when I got home kind of really hit me that they were not coming back, at least, not to stay. And so I was talking about how it was quiet and I was a little sad and missing them already. Here's that stamp again. I used a little bit of, I don't know if you can tell, a glitter gel pen here. Hopefully that shines a little bit. I really love this stamp. And I don't think I even used it at all this October. Here's another picture from when we went down to see the scarecrows. This one had little witch's legs turned upside down, and my grandson Jackson called it the upside down scarecrow. And just some journaling about the day. And these 2 little stamps I had just gotten in the mail. I love this little list one, and I honestly don't know where either one of these stamps is. I must have put them up somewhere and I have not seen them since. I'm gonna have to try and dig around and see if I can find those. This will be great for the 5 on Friday prompt. And here I used Distress ink. One of the ladies in the group had done this, and I really loved the way she actually did it much better than I did. But this was my first time and I got better at it. And I was actually using a little pad, so you can see there's a lot of squarish places. But I think it turned out really pretty, and then I needed no washi or border or anything. I just used that. Did this acrostic, which was the prompt for the day, to use the letters of autumn and things that remind you of autumn. And then this is a picture I took in my backyard of a couple of the trees. I thought it was really pretty that day, and I added this little October poem. I stamped some leaves here with some little stamps I had just gotten at Michael's, and I actually used Crayola washable markers and just colored in little random different color spots and stamped them. That works really well, by the way. If you don't know, you can just color the marker right on your stamp and then stamp it, and get a lot of different colors than if you actually were trying to use a stamp pad, because you'd stamp the leaf all in one color. Anyway, one little thing I found out. And then a little drawing I did of a hedgehog that was in a prompt that day. And then just some stuff about my morning routine. And this was October 15th. And so I just did couple of prompts, some information about my day. And then here's another 5 on Friday. This one was some checked paper, which was this paper right here. Something sweet and edible, which were these little pumpkin bars. Something nostalgic or retro, which were these little stickers that I had gotten in a pack with something else, and I probably never would have used them if it had not been for this prompt. So the 5 on Friday really did get me to use things I would not normally use. And then you were supposed to use something from your kitchen, so I peeled off this Chiquita label off of one of the bananas. And so that was my 5 on Friday. Oh, I think, and checked washi, I missed that. That was this little washi right here. It has some little checks on it. And I think that's it. I'm going to stop here for today. And I hope you enjoyed this little flip. And if you would leave me a comment or like or subscribe, I would really appreciate that. If you have any questions about anything, I'm happy to answer any questions. And I really, really appreciate you taking the time just to look at my flip. Thank you so much.